gamers, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be showing you how to find most of the notes in Piggy. We probably won't be able to cover all of them, but basically I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get most of them through Station, and maybe all of them in school, and maybe all of them in hospital. I don't know, but basically this video is just a tutorial on how to find the notes in pretty much all of the chapters. I might be making a part 2 if it's really fun to make. I've muted the Piggy music because I got copyrighted for it last time. So I'll just pause the video and then unpause it when it's got to Station. So there are actually 4 notes in Station. I'm not going to tell you my theories about them because I obviously have theories about them, but I will be maybe telling you theories about them if I do a video in the future about my theories for all of the notes. But maybe I will do a theory video on the notes, but I won't. I'll just be kind of reading them to you, and telling you what they actually mean. So this is the first note. Basically, it says it can't find me in here. And then it says it can't find me in here, can it? And then am I safe from it? Basically, that's the first note. It's inside of a cell. Basically, person's questioning whether Piggy, the monster, or at least an infected person, can actually find them in the cell that they're saying, and they're just questioning, like, where can it get me in here? Because they're just hiding in there. Okay, the next one is actually upstairs in the wrench part, which I'm about to get to right now, so I just need to unlock the wrench part. I can actually get some volume on too because it's not playing copyrighted music now. So I'm just going to unlock this. So basically, there's one here that says, I can only hope that the officer that went to find out where the location of George Pig is okay. Basically, this is written by Doggy, and he's just hoping that we're okay. So the next one is actually in the red door, so I've got to get the red key to be able to unlock it, which is the spawning locations for the red key are near the cell bit. So I'll just check the spawning locations, and then hopefully we can get the red key. So the red key could spawn here, which it didn't, but it could spawn here, which it did. So I'm just going to get the red key and then go over to the red door. So I've gotten over to the red door, and if you can see, there's a note in here saying, where did these creatures come from? I've never seen anything like them before. Basically, we're just questioning, we're just basically saying, wow, look at that, there's creatures, and I've never seen anything like them ever before. So I think that's it. We've done the red door one, the cell one. Oh, we haven't done the outside one, so we should probably do the outside one, which I think the blue key will be in the plank of wood place, so we need to place the plank of wood first, but I'll just cut to the end where I actually get the blue key. So I've got the blue key and unlocked outside now. So basically this one's saying the other police officers left without me, I need to get out of here. This is probably written by us, just saying that the other police officers left without us and we need to get out of here, which is basically the the kind of story of the whole chapter. Basically, we've got to get out of this station, which we do in the end, which is good because you don't want to get trapped in a station. And a station was an infected monster. Anyway, I'll cut to the part where we get to school. So I managed to get into school and get into the book room. So as you can see, there's 2 notes here, and these are the only notes in school. So basically, one says the search for survivors went bad. I'm now locked in this room with some crazy animal on the loose. This one reveals that Bunny actually came into school to search for survivors, and also that the teacher is on the loose and she got infected. This one says the teacher was fine when we got here to rescue her. What happened? Basically, that's just signifying that the teacher is now infected. So I'll cut the video and then do it when I get to a note, unpause it when I actually get to a note in hospital. So I'm in hospital now, and if you notice, there's a note in the starting room saying, subject has been hallucinating Officer Doggy. Doggy's been missing for weeks. So basically, at the end of the chapter 6 cutscene, we see Doggy. Basically, that was a hallucination of Doggy. It wasn't actually the real Doggy. And it says that all of the notes in hospital are written by Barry, the doctor, which he's now infected. But this was before he was infected, and he's been finding out that we've been hallucinating Doggy, which again explains why we've seen him at the end of the chapter 6 cutscene. And he also sings that Doggy's been missing for weeks. We actually know that he's infected. So I'll pause the video and then unpause it when I get to another note in hospital. Okay, so I've got to the second note in hospital. It says, the majority of the family volunteered to help with testing. The test will begin shortly. Hopefully it goes well. Well, my theory is that the family are George Piggy's family, and this was before they got infected, and maybe the testing that Mr. P saw, because he's innocent, and this chapter proves that he's innocent. And I know what you're thinking. A lot of people don't know about this and don't read the notes, and you're thinking like, Sam, of course Mr. P is evil. He's crazy. He makes his infections and infects people. Well, he's actually innocent, as we can see by the other notes that we're going to be going through. But he's also not innocent in a way, but we'll be going through that in a moment. So basically, George Piggy volunteered to help with the testing, which of course Mr. P is innocent. We will come to that later. Because he tried to make a cure, in my theory anyway. Hopefully the majority. So basically, George Piggy's family helped with it and basically put themselves as test subjects, and that's how they got infected first, and they were the first ones to get infected, and that's why the player came to George Piggy's house, because he's been missing, and also the other George Piggy family members, and that's the reason why that's the first thing we did in the chapter. So basically, hopefully it goes well. So it doesn't go well, spoiler alert. So yeah, I will pause the video and then unpause it when it gets to the third note in hospital. So I managed to get to the third note of hospital. So it says, the tests have shown promising results so far. The youngest was absent during the test. My theory was that because this one was actually after the other one that was written. All of these are written by Barry, by the way. So basically, because you know how Bunny took a while to actually become infected, well, this is actually a good thing because the tests have shown promising results so far. So basically, like, yeah, it's all good, but then basically it didn't go right at the end. And also the youngest was absent during the test. The youngest would be George Piggy, and the last note was talking about George Piggy's family, because the youngest was George Piggy and he was absent during the test. That's because he talks at the end of chapter 10 about how he ran away because everyone looked scary. So the youngest was absent during the test. So basically, yeah, that's the third note in infection, and I'll cut to the fourth one. So I found the fourth one, and you know how I talked about earlier how Mr. P's innocent, and a lot of you are probably thinking, what the hell, Mr. P's an evil, crazy man, and you probably crazy is thinking he's innocent. Well, he actually is, and this is actually part of the proof for it. So basically, Mr. P has gracefully donated much to help research a cure. He insists that we test it as soon as possible. Basically, that cure failed a lot, failed miserably, and everybody is infected. And he made 7, and that would also explain why he made 7 persons, which we might come to that later. I don't know how much time I have. So he only made 7 persons, and he just tested them for a cure, and he insists that we test it as soon as possible. Basically, that went wrong a lot, so he's not going to be able to. Basically, it's just not good. Okay, he tried to help, but he didn't help, which will also explain at the end of chapter 11. He says, I tried to make things better, but I ended up making them worse. That means that he did try to make things better, but ended up making them worse. He literally said himself, so I think that's enough proof. So the next notes in Metro, I will be skipping to. So I found the first note of chapter 7, Metro. There are 3 notes in this chapter. So basically, this is the first note from Mr. P, I think. So he says, she's really sick. I need to help her any way I can, Mr. P. Mr. P is talking about Mrs. P, or at least I think so. And basically, she's really sick, and he needs to help her. So yeah, basically that's what the note means. The second note of chapter 7 Metro is patient 0 was given substance 128. Patient has been restoring strength, but also displaying signs of aggression. So we don't know who patient 0 is, and substance 128 could be one of the 7 persons. If you believe in the first 7 persons, and you could believe in the Sister Pigs, who knows? You believe whatever you want to believe in. Basically, it's saying this person has been restoring strength, which makes sense because the person takes a while for you to get infected and possibly could make you have some positive effects before you actually get infected, but he's also displaying signs of aggression, which is also news that he's somewhat near infected. So that's what that note means. We're on to the third note of Chapter 7, Metro. So the third and final note of Chapter 7 is saying, maybe the doctor can make something, a cure, I'll give anything, I just need her to feel better, Mr. P. He's probably talking about Mrs. P, and maybe she's infected, I don't really know, he probably is, maybe, but basically he's just hoping that he can cure her, and hoping that Barry can find a cure to the person, because maybe she drank one person, who knows, I don't really know, but maybe that's that. I'm not really too sore with this note, but I am sore with others, but I'm not too sore with this note. So moving on to Chapter 8, Carnival. So right when you spawn, there'll be a note outside of the actual entrance to the carnival saying, to those looking for safety, this is the worst place to look. And then TSP. It depends if you want to believe that that's the 7 persons or the Sister Potato, or if it is the Sister Potato. I mean the Sister Pig, not the Sister Potato. Or you want to believe that it's the Super Potato, and you believe that there's a Super Potato. I don't know what you believe in, but I think that maybe I've not really come to a final conclusion of what TSP means, but I'm pretty sure it means to 7 persons, and I'm pretty sure Mr. P leaves his signature sometimes as TSP. I don't know. Could mean anything really. It says, to those looking for safety, this is the worst place to look. Again, this is an act of kindness from Mr. P, which again proves that he is innocent, okay, and not trying to kill everybody, as we've already suggested. He is innocent, okay, and everybody knows that for a fact. There's actual proof in the game, and actually proof in the cutscenes that he is innocent, okay? So, yeah, let's go to the second note of Carnival. The second note of Carnival is a note outside of the orange door saying, do not open, monster inside, TSP. Again, this is an act of kindness for Mr. P. Or if you want it to be the Super Potato or the Sister Pigs or something else that you might imagine, then go ahead and say it. But it's an act of kindness from them, whoever they are. Moving on to the third note. The third note of Carnival is saying, Doggy and Foxy got what was coming to them, TSP. So basically, this particular note means that, well, in my theory, basically Mr. P did it out of anger to get revenge on Doggy and Foxy, basically all on his friends, although there is a note in the city that suggests he might not have done this out of revenge. I don't know. Again, I've not come to my final theory yet, so I don't know for sure. But he does, maybe because Mrs. P is now angry with him, in my theory, that he, well, got her nearly infected. Maybe she actually made it out alive, and now she's basically left Mr. P, so he infected his friends out of anger. So Doggy and Foxy, also one of the 2 that are infected, so they got what was coming to them, TSP. Again, this could mean the Sister Pigs, because it's believed that the sisters are evil because of the note in Mall saying don't trust the SI. People believe that don't trust the sisters or the Sister Pigs or whatever. People can believe whatever they want again. So moving on to the fourth note. Okay, so there is kind of going to be another no. Not because there isn't another no, it's just because this video is taking a long time to actually make, and it's actually beginning to be my brother's bedtime, not my bedtime, but my brother's bath time soon, so, you know, I've got to kind of end it here, but I will probably be making a part 2, so just stick around for that part 2, but, and I'll be researching all of the notes found in, you know, all of the chapters. If you want me to move on to the fourth note, then I will hopefully be posting a part 2 soon. This video was a lot of fun to make, but obviously it took a very long time to make. It's actually, I've been recording for like an hour now, so I think I should probably stop recording and do a part 2 to this, especially seeing as though the city notes and, you know, especially the what do you call them? The outpost notes. They are very difficult to read and find, so, and there's a lot of them, so I'll probably be making a part 2, but yeah, without further ado, goodbye, gamers!